Hello, this is Ken Guscott. I'm going to give you an overview on how to use DB2000 for preparing and submitting merit mark recommendations. First, click on the MM button to open the merit mark grid, and it is currently empty. We can add members to the list in several different ways. One way is to select from the drop-down list. Here we can select a name and simply click the Add button, and this adds the name to the grid. Another way is to select members on a previously made tag list, and to do that you simply say Add Tags, and you can see that we've added additional members to the grid. And another way would be to add the whole database to the grid, and that way all of the names will be available and you can work on them as you require. The Remove button removes a selected record from the merit mark list. So let's say we want to remove this member, and we click Remove, and it will do just that. Remove All will empty the grid, and we'll do that. So now we will select one name to work with. If you are looking for a specific name, just type in the first few characters of the name and press the down arrow, and it will come to the name that you're looking for, that you can then select and add. Notice that the submission status says no data. To make a recommendation, you have to summarize what the member did to deserve one. For instructors, a course list is available. If we look under Course 1 and Name, and we double-click the name cell, a list will come up, and it will list all of the various types of courses. Select the appropriate one from the list. Next, add the number of sessions that were taught or proctored, or both. Let's say it was a proctor. You can use the little arrow keys here to increment the record, and when you're done, just double-click the cell to enter the information. Notice that the submission status has changed from no data to no recommendation. Text is added in the valuable service column. To enter the text, select cell, double-click on the cell to enter the edit mode, and type in the information that you want. Alternatively, if you right-click the mouse, you will raise the Windows Edit dialog, and this can be very useful when making merit marks. I shall paste in some text that I've already written. And now I've finished with this, double-click to edit to exit the mode. Clicking in another cell will reduce the cell height to just one line. So I've added some additional recommendations, and let us say that this is all you have and you want to submit them. First, we need to define the type of submission. That is why it currently says no recommendation. So double-clicking on the status cell, we see a pop-up menu with the selections that are available. And at the moment we can have an original submission, a supplementary submission, or a retroactive submission. We're doing an original, so we just press Submit. Now, if you had a very large number of recommendations, going down each cell in turn would be a bit tedious. So instead, go to the Change of Status menu and click on Change All No Recommendation to Submit. So now we have it. The next thing to do is to click on the Submit button. By default, the type of submission is shown as original, and the year as the current year. We just have two options here. We can send a draft copy to a member selected from the drop-down list. By default it is the commander, and for review, or we can submit to the area monitor. Let's submit. This action will cause DB2000 to go online to the United States Power Squadron website and the merit mark page. The directions for doing this are spelled out in detail on the page, but our objective is to find the file with our merit mark recommendations that we need to upload. The path to this file is spelled out carefully at the bottom of the page. You see here C, Documents and Settings, J. Kenneth Glasgow, blah blah blah. Yours will be different, but that's where the file is. Now, on some browsers it might be possible to copy and paste this path directly into the merit mark file to send box. However, on some browsers this is not permitted for security reasons. So instead we will need to press the Browse button. Let me just put the path near the bottom and I'll go on the Browse button. This raises the Windows file dialog. This is where we want to go, so we will go up to this part of the file dialog and we will go to My Documents and we will find the file DB2000 v3, or the folder I should say. And looking down the list of files here, we see that we have one here called MM Submit DAT. That's the one we want, so we select it and click Open. We now see that we have this copied into the path as we needed it, and the response to this is going to be sent to our commander, whose email address is listed here. All we have to do now is to click on the Submit button. The original submission has been accepted on the website, and you can see that our area monitor is Past Chief Commander James T. Stewart, and that he will email his findings to your commander in due course. Closing the browser will return us to DB2000 and we can close the Submit dialog. After our monitor has reviewed your submission, he will send his decisions via an email attachment to your commander. Save this attachment anywhere that you could locate it, but the DB2000 folder would be a good choice. When you have received this email, from the menu, select Submission Status Update. This will open the file dialog. In the DB2000 folder, look for the file that has your commander's certificate number as a name .txt. Open this file and wait for a few moments and your submission status will be updated. And we have accepted records, but we have one rejected. We might like to hazard a guess as to why that was rejected, so we'll open the recommendation and we see that this member only had 3 hours of work. So let us add some more to it, and I'll just paste some additional text in here and then go to the rejected status, double click the cell, and now we have the option to resubmit. Let us select that, and the resubmission process would be exactly identical to the original submission. So that's an overview of the merit marks.